Has your lasagna ever turned out dry? Well, today that's going to end. And today in Saladolandia, we're going to make a traditional lasagna. Easy and with 4 tricks to make sure it always comes out perfect. And stay until the end because the cutting test is worth it. The ingredients are simple: 750 grams of ground meat, lasagna sheets, tomato sauce or fried tomato, and an onion. Also slices of cheese, butter, and a red bell pepper. A little bit of milk and a little bit of flour. Easy ingredients. In a large pan, we pour a good splash of oil. We leave it on medium heat while it heats up, and then we add a finely chopped onion and any vegetables you like. In my case, I think it goes great with a finely chopped red bell pepper as well. So that's what I'm adding. Remember to stir it from time to time and let it cook until you notice the vegetables change color a bit and start to get a little soft. Nice and soft. But once you have it mixed, add salt. Add salt so this speeds up the process and also so the vegetables have that extra touch of flavor. Looking good. Little by little, you'll notice how the vegetables start to get ready. When they're completely soft, you'll add the meat. I use a mix of pork and beef, but you can use whichever you like. Beef, pork, half and half, whichever you prefer. The important thing is that it's finely ground and you add it directly to the pan. What you'll need to do is salt it as well, and once it's well salted, stir it and break it up so that it's in small pieces. Enjoy your meal. We don't want boiled meat, we want brown meat. It's essential when you're cooking this meat to keep stirring it so it browns evenly and not to use the heat too high. Medium high at most so it gets just right. And now we add homemade tomato sauce or store-bought sauce. Either one will work for you. You add at least 1 cup, or if you want, 1.5 cups. And what you'll do is cook the meat together with the sauce for 2 or 3 minutes so everything comes together. The sauce gets the flavor of the meat and it becomes creamier. And now, something that makes the difference. Let the tomato thicken. If it's too runny, the lasagna turns out sloppy. And when it looks like this, set it aside off the heat. It's perfect now. If you like clear and uncomplicated recipes, you know what to do. Subscribe, because here we always get straight to the point. Let's move on to the bechamel. As you've seen, I've put about 2 tablespoons of butter in a pan. I'm going to keep stirring it as it heats up over medium heat. Once it's melted, add a slightly heaping tablespoon of flour and cook it, stirring for 1 or 2 minutes. Don't worry, you can easily tell when it's ready just by looking at it. When you see it has a paste-like texture and a very even color, then you'll start adding the milk, little by little. About 2 cups, around 400 milliliters. Once you've added half of the milk, add some salt. A little bit of nutmeg is also great for this, but just a little. And then black pepper, which really enhances the flavors a lot. And once you have it, don't forget to stir. If you have a spatula like I do, it'll be even easier. Do it little by little, keep stirring, and if you see any lumps, just crush them and keep going calmly. It shouldn't be liquid, it should stick to the spoon. Now that you see it starting to thicken, that it's no longer liquid, you gradually add the rest of the milk. And that's a good trick, doing it little by little. When you've added all the milk and it's a bit thick, we'll move on to the tray. We're going to put a bit of this magic sauce on the bottom and spread it out. And on top, we place our lasagna sheets. In my case, they're already pre-cooked, so I can put them in directly. If not, you have to cook them in water as instructed by the manufacturer. On top of them, cheese. If you have it in slices like I do, look how easy it is to place one after another, covering the entire surface. Another thing you can play with is the type of cheese. You can use whichever you want, even a mix, even whatever you have on hand. If you have it grated, great. If not, just by chopping up a few slices so they're separated like this, that's more than enough. In fact, that's what I did. And on top, the filling. The meat we prepared with our sauce a little while ago. If it has cooled down a bit, that's okay. It's actually better because it lets you press and smooth it out all the way to the very last corner. It's not that you're wasting the filling. That's where all the juiciness is. And now we repeat. We put another layer of lasagna sheets, another layer of sliced cheese, and another layer of meat, using up every last drop and pressing it down nicely. And then we top it off with the rest of the bechamel. Spread it out and it's ready. Enjoy. And now comes the secret trick. Finally, it's time to top it off. And I'm going to do it with grated cheese. But instead of using store-bought cheese, it's simply some slices that I've chopped with a knife. And it turns out amazing. And we take this tray to the oven. We've preheated it to 220 degrees Celsius, about 430 Fahrenheit, heat from top and bottom. And you'll leave it for at least 20 minutes, but long enough for it to start browning. Look, after 20 minutes, I still want a bit more color. Depending on the cheese, sometimes it takes a little longer and sometimes a little less. Now that's what I'm talking about. It looks amazing. We let it rest and move on to the ultimate test. And of course, I'm going to show you the inside. So I'm going to cut a piece and show you this creamy wonder. You'll never have to eat dry lasagna again. Now you'll always enjoy it to the fullest with a really juicy one. Juicy, creamy, and not dry at all. This is Sunday food. Save the recipe for your next family meal. And tell me in the comments, do you prefer more bechamel or more cheese? See you in the next Saladolandia recipe. Bye.